Hey guys, so in today's video, I wanted to talk about not letting negative clinical rotation or clinical experience um, things run you away from continuing to work in the medical field. So I will be honest and tell you that when I first went to nursing school, when I was going, like before I even got my CNA, I was going to school for nursing, but I had this experience, and I believe I've talked about it on my channel before. I had this experience at my very first ever clinical site, which was a nursing home in Omaha, Nebraska, and like they did not treat their residents right, and I actually ended up calling Adult Protective Services and reporting the facility, which even though they're not supposed to retaliate, I did end up losing that clinical spot. But I ended up having to drop out of nursing school anyway. And they were just not very welcoming. And I feel like if you feel that you have a passion and a calling to get into the healthcare field, then you should not let anything stop you from continuing on that path. I have had negative clinical experiences during CNA training, as far as like the CNAs that were supposed to be letting us shadow them and, showing us kind of what we um, would be doing on a daily basis as a CNA, and also like showing us how to do certain things. They were not welcoming. They did not want us around. I feel like they felt that we were more of a hindrance to them because it actually made them have to do work. Like, I actually ended up working at that specific facility that I did my CNA clinicals at a couple years after doing clinicals there, and the environment was basically the same as it was when I did clinicals, although I worked night shift, and so I kind of had a little bit more like flexibility and freedom. I did train people there, and when I am a preceptor or I have an orientee with me, I do my best to make sure that I answer all their questions. I try not to make them uncomfortable. I try to give them like tips and tricks for dealing with certain residents, or like how to be efficient while they're doing their work. I just don't want somebody to have a bad experience with someone and then that be the reason that they choose not to go into healthcare or continue on their track of getting into healthcare, because we obviously, if you haven't heard, have a huge shortage of qualified medical personnel, and that's why there's such a demand for certain career paths. I mean, obviously, I'm a phlebotomist as well as a CNA and medical assistant, but there's not as high of a demand for phlebotomists um, as there is CNAs and medical assistants and nurses, because I am in nursing school as well. For those of you that didn't know, or this is the first time you've been to my channel, I just like, the goal of me sharing what I do on my channel is to try to help people as much as I possibly can, because I know that the medical field can sometimes be a very like, it can be a scary place when you're first getting started in the medical field, and I don't want someone's negative attitude or the fact that they can't just slack off on their shift to be the reason that you drop out of nursing school or drop out of CNA training or something like that, because you will encounter those types of people with those types of attitudes as you move through your healthcare career. But that's not everybody. Like, the people that got into it for the right reasons, the people who love what they do, are going to be supportive. They're going to do whatever they can to help you, because not only is it because they like what they do and they do their jobs well, but they want good quality healthcare workers to stick around, because like I said, everywhere is short staffed, especially right now after COVID. And like, it's hard to get people to stick. Like, and you may be judging me like, well, you have jumped from job to job And yes, I have, but I also don't tolerate people mistreating me. And now I'm working from home doing chronic care management. I haven't told you guys about that yet, but it's a whole different ball game, and that's not really what this video is about. But I hate to see people, because I've had people message me in the past where they talk about like their negative clinical experiences, and that being the reason why they didn't continue to pursue nursing or continue to pursue CNA training or phlebotomy training or medical assistant training. And it makes me sad because you're turning away these people that could actually be like good quality healthcare workers and could help lessen that shortage and that stress on the short staffed workers. So I don't know. I mean, I totally understand why people may not want to train certain people, and I've had certain people that have trained me that say that they hate training people because nobody stays. And part of that is because I feel like people get into the medical field for the wrong reason. And part of it is like facility. Part of it is like, I don't think they sometimes understand what they're getting themselves into as far as like daily work tasks. But I just try to stick it out. That would be my biggest tip. Try to stick it out, try to give it a chance, do your best, and it may be something good for you. It may be a good positive experience for you once you get through the training. Sometimes people just are not good preceptors, and if you have a person who is doing orientation or training you or is a preceptor for you if you're in school, um, if they are not showing you what you need to learn, then I would see if you can request someone else. Um, because at the end of the day, you're there to learn. And if you're not getting the knowledge that you need in order to complete, your job responsibilities, then obviously that's an issue. So let me know if you guys have ever experienced this as far as a negative clinical experience, because, like I said, I've had quite a few. I've had quite a few like negative orientation or preceptor experiences, not as a preceptor, but as the person who's being trained. Um, so, yeah, let me know what you guys think. And if you could share one tip of advice for those of you who are already healthcare workers to people who are in training, please leave it down below. All right, guys, I will talk to you in tomorrow's video.